There are times I've been in spaces where I've been on stealth mode.
Yes.
So I'm still a Christian, but I do what I need to do to be in that space.
Yes.
And now that's why I was telling you the theology gets messed up. Because there's some of the stuff that I do, believers will be like, yeah, it's politics, a dirty game. Indeed it is. But of necessity, it must be dirty. Look at somebody like Joseph. First and foremost, one thing that I found is that Kenya Power is not really a monopoly. Let us say it's the majority player.
This is the story of a woman who stands at the crossroads of church, power, and politics. Her father is a bishop. She leads one of Kenya's biggest state corporations, and now she's being accused of working against Gen Z during one of the largest protests in recent Kenyan history. Joy Mdivo was almost our next IEBC chair, but is she also the powerful hand behind the scenes trying to sabotage a revolution? Let's look into the rise of power and scandals surrounding Joy Brenda Masinde Mdivo, the preacher's daughter turned power broker. Born in 1973, Joy Brenda is the daughter of Bishop J.B. Masinde, the spiritual juggernaut behind Deliverance Church International. Her father's influence echoed from church pews to parliament floors. But early in life, Joy was determined to carve her own path. In fact, when she got married, she couldn't wait to shed the famous preacher's daughter label. She proudly took on the name Mdivo, leaving Masinde behind.
Not Joy Masinde, because when I got married, that was the first thing I did, was drop my father's name and adopt my husband's name, because I kept thinking that I need to come out from under the shadow of my father.
But fate has a way of circling back. Years later, she reclaimed the Masinde name. Why? Because she admitted that name opened doors, and today she wears it with pride.
I have definitely received advantage by that association rather than a demerit. So that's why I embrace being a pastor's kid. That's why I embrace being a bishop's kid. That's why I serve God with all my heart, because
Joy built an ironclad resume, from being a senior resident magistrate in the judiciary to heading the East Africa Center for Law and Justice to launching her own law firm, Masinde Mdivo and Associates. She's sat on boards ranging from the Law Society of Kenya to Evangelical Alliance of Kenya. In 2022, her influence peaked when she was appointed chairperson of Kenya Power, a role few women in Kenya have ever held. She's a mother of 3, a wife, and a driven, fiercely intelligent woman who's never shied away from mixing the pulpit with politics. Joy is not just a lawyer or an executive, she's a political thinker, and she's not afraid to say the quiet part out loud. In multiple interviews and forums, Joy has said politics is dirty and it's kinda necessary.
Politics a dirty game, indeed it is. But of necessity, it must be dirty.
But here's the twist. She backs it up with scripture. She once compared modern political scheming to the Old Testament story of Joseph, who arrested his brothers to test them, even though he loved them. Her point? Sometimes strategy looks like betrayal, even in the Bible.
Joseph, when his brothers came, what he did to them, he imprisoned one of them falsely, he planted evidence on others, but in him he was trying to find out, are these people genuine or not? If he was a believer, that's wickedness. How do you plant something and you know very well who would have castigated him? But in him he knew what he was doing, because he had learning that had demonstrated to him, you have to be sure about the quality and the mettle of the people that you're getting.
And she doesn't stop there. Joy has been urging Christians to get into politics, not just pray for change from the sidelines. Join political parties, she says, because when government wants to hire, they won't come looking for you in church. It's a bold message and one that has earned her both fans and serious backlash.
There's a lot of kazi za serikali nyingi zinapeanagwa afterwards. Who are they given to? They're given to people who are active in the party and who are served the party. Those are the ones who get this position. They don't come to church and tell us, give us 20 young men to go and become CECs. No.
In 2025, Joy was shortlisted to become the next IEBC chairperson, the gatekeeper of Kenya's democracy.
Deemed interference by the political players in the election process, and so that also creates a trust deficit.
But critics quickly raised flags. She was already Kenya Power's chair, and reportedly part of UDA's Electoral Disputes Committee. Activists filed petitions demanding she be disqualified for conflict of interest. Her candidacy, once promising, was now in crisis, but things were about to get messier. Come June 25, 2025, Gen Zs plan to flood the streets of Kenya in a massive uprising against police brutality and remembering our fallen comrades in the most recent protests. Then, boom, a day to the protests, screenshots leak, linking Joy to a WhatsApp group allegedly planning to infiltrate or destabilize the protests. Social media erupted. Was Joy working with the state? Was this a spiritual leader turning political puppet? Joy responded with fire. She called the claims false, defamatory, and evil. She said she had no hand in anything anti-Gen Z. She says, and I quote, "I belong to no such WhatsApp group, neither have I made no such utterances in public or in private. For Standard Kenya to insinuate that I am planning to kill Kenyans is untrue as it is defamatory. My lawyers have the instructions." End of quote. But the whispers didn't stop. The public wanted answers, and Joy's name was suddenly in conversations she never wanted to be a part of. Joy Masinde Mdivo is a woman who's lived many lives, a bishop's daughter who rejected the name, then reclaimed it, a legal powerhouse who now chairs a national utility, a woman who says politics must be dirty and yet still urges believers to dive into it. To some, she's a trailblazer.
She's powerful, and I believe that today is going to be even better. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you very much, Reverend Kathy.
Now you've come and you've turned into this political commentator that you're on every channel. Tell us about that. Where did that stem from?
To others, a calculated operator, masking power plays with prayer. Is Joy Mdivo a misunderstood leader with conviction or a power broker cloaked in Bible verses and boardrooms? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, this is no ordinary preacher's daughter. And in Kenya's ever-evolving political theater, she's far from done. Do you believe her version of the story? Should believers trust in politics or stay far away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Kenya's most controversial figures. Catch you on the next one.
What do you want me to do?
Yes.
The space is available for me to enter.
Yes.
I enter unapologetically. Actually, Joy, Rita, Brenda, Nyangweso, Masinde Mdivo. But for ease, we do the Joy, Brenda Mdivo.
This is enough. I am coming home. I have had it. Steven this, Steven that. Ask me one question. Joy, si umeolewa? I said, yes, Dad. Like, yeah. Never report your husband to me again. And he hung up on me.